Hey everybody, welcome to another Cricut tutorial. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to address your envelopes. A lot of people like to do this for their weddings, thank you cards, Christmas cards, lots of options. It's going to save you a ton of time and it's going to look very, very professional. So the first thing that you want to do is start in Design Space with a blank canvas. Second thing you need to know is the size of your envelopes. I am using an A4, I believe it's called, envelope, and I know that it's 8 3/4 by 5 3/4. So you need to build yourself a template so that you can see your envelope. So all we're going to do is go to Shape, open up a square, and we're going to click the Unlock button down in the lower left-hand corner. And then the easiest way to do this is to go up to the top, right under size, right up here, and I know that it is 8 3/4 wide, so that's 8.75 inches wide, and then I know that it's 5.75 inches high. So there is our envelope. I'm going to change the color of my envelope just so we can see it a little bit better. I'm just going to make it white, just like a normal envelope. The next thing you need to do is open a text box. So we're just going to open our text, and we're just going to send a letter to Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And obviously you can see this is way too big, so we're going to size it down to where we like our size for our envelope. And on an envelope, you always put where it's going towards the center. Make sure you leave room for a stamp. And now I'm going to change my font now because it's easier when you go to type in your other items. It's going to put them all in that same font. So we'll go ahead and change our Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I'm going to use something out of my system fonts. And a lot of people like when they look really handwritten already. So I'm going to go and find kind of a skinny handwriting one that I've downloaded recently. Let me see here. Oh, here, Alex is writing maybe. Now, you may need to make yours bigger depending on your font. And I'm going to change mine over to handwriting right now so that I can see what it's going to look like. So in order to change your font to handwriting so that it's going to, or to written, so that it'll write with your pen, go to your right-hand side right here under all these little layers and color sync and all of that, and click on the scissors. And you're going to change it to the pen, which says write. And that's going to show you what your font will look like. Now I'm going to blow it up so that you can see, because it is a bubble letter, but being that it's so thin, you won't notice when you go to write it. It should look perfectly filled in. But there are other writing options that you can use through Cricut. Cricut, when you look at their fonts, if you just go over to the all, you'll see right here it says multi-layer cutting writing. You just need to find a writing font. I don't have Cricut access, so I don't use their fonts because they do cost money. This is $4.99, and I think that's kind of excessive for a font. But you can see this one does fill them in. But like I said, we're not going to use their stuff because I'm cheap and I don't like to spend money. So we're going to go ahead and find something else. Like I said, the thinner the font, the more likely it's going to look like it's handwritten without the bubble letter. I did download a few fonts today. I just don't remember what they were called, of course. Here, Cute Handwriting is one I downloaded. Oh yes, this one looks like it could be good. So let's go ahead and change it over to write. I think, you know what, I think we're just going to go with Alex because that one looked like it was nice and thin. So like I said, the thinner the font itself, the more likely it will look like it's handwritten. This is one of those things you just have to keep playing with, and eventually you'll get it right. So it's no big deal. Don't worry about it. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to add the rest of Mr. and Mrs. Smith's address. So they're going to live at 123 Main Street. And we'll just move that up. Oops. And we'll not grab the envelope. We'll go ahead and move the Main Street. We'll resize it just so that it looks like about the same size as the other. And I gotta stop grabbing the envelope. And then we'll add there from anywhere USA 44444. And again, we'll move that up and we'll resize so that it looks like it's a good size to go with the rest of it. Next thing you need to do is enter your return address, and that goes up in your upper corner here. So again, open a text box, and this is going to be from me. And you can use different fonts for different parts of your project. I just like the same font. I think it looks a little more neat and clean. So then we're going to go ahead and enter our address. We'll live on 123 Main Street as well. We're going to make this one much smaller, move it up. I have to go quite a bit smaller on that one. And we'll be from nowhere, USA. We'll go 11111. And then we're going to just move that up, and we will reduce the size on that as well. I tell you, grabbing this envelope. That's going to be your most annoying thing, is that darn envelope, because you're constantly gonna want to grab it. So to make it easier to change everything to a writing font, what I do is I select each piece of text by clicking on one, clicking on another while holding Control, and clicking on the third while holding Control. And I go ahead and I attach them. And then I weld them, because that's going to make it one piece. That way you can come over here, just like we did before, to show you what the font looked like in writing. We have to make sure that it says writing. So click on the scissors, and then click on the pen. In here we can choose our color. I think let's do, I have magenta. Let's do a magenta for that one. And then you're going to do the same thing for your return address. Now I'm going to show you a second way to grab all of your address pieces. All you have to do is come over to the right hand side, click on one, hold Control, click on the other two, and you're going to go ahead and do attach and weld. Because again, that's going to make that one whole piece. We need to again change this one over to right, so we're going to select right, and let's do that in a red. Let's do very berry. This way I can show you guys how to do two different colors as well. So the next thing you want to do is get rid of the envelope, because we don't need it anymore now that we've got everything lined up, because we don't want it to cut our envelope. And the second thing that you have to do is now you're going to select both pieces and you're going to hit weld. Nope, I lied to you. Sorry. I didn't mean to do that. All right. You know what? Well, it's not completely straight over there, but that's okay. I'm going to show you something. We're going to go over to Make It. And see how it moves them around? We don't want it to do that. We want them to stay where they're at. So that's why I accidentally hit weld. I'm so sorry. I know better. Weld is not what you needed to do. You just need to select both and hit attach. What attach does is it tells it not to move your project. To select both, you can again hit Control, or you can draw the box like I did with your mouse, and you can select them both and then hit attach. That just tells it not to move your project. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and click Make It. And you can see it's really close up here in this upper corner. I'm going to move it just a little bit so that you can have your envelope not, if you're just a slight bit off, it won't matter. So I just moved it. All you have to do is grab it, and you can move it wherever you want on your screen. So if you want to line up your envelope more towards the center, you can do that. Just watch where your grid lines are and line your envelope up with that. But I'm just going to do it a little bit further from the corner than it suggests, just to give us a little bit of leeway. I'm going to go ahead and get this on the mat, and we can show you it writing, and then you'll see how easy it is in order to address your own envelopes. And the nice thing is you can set this up and save them so that it can do multiples, and you can use them each year. So let's go ahead and get ready to write, and we will be right back. Okay, we're ready to write. I'm going to show you here. As you see, I've got my envelope on my mat, and I want to show you, so I'm going to bring you over here to show you on the screen here, and hopefully it will show. It might be a little bit hard. But if you look right here, it tells you which pen to add first. So you're going to load the magenta pen, which is this one right here. You can see it says magenta. And I'll show you how to load your pens really quick. Super easy. All you do is in your accessory A, this guy right here, open your clamp, uncap your pen, and you're going to put your pen in. I always hold it with 2 hands just so it doesn't push it down too much. And you're going to do it till it clicks. Go ahead and close your clamp so that it's nice and tight. And then we can load our mat. I'm going to scoot you guys over just a little bit. Don't worry about your dial setting because it does not matter. I know on a lot of projects we always say check your settings, check your settings. This you don't have to worry. So we're going to go ahead and load. Oops. And always make sure your corners are stuck down because that one wasn't. We're going to go ahead and use our pen and hit the go button, and it's going to start writing out our address. And like I said, you can see how I used a thinner font, and it's going to look actually like somebody wrote it. The one I used is called Alex's Handwriting, for anyone who's wondering. I got it on dafont.com. It is completely free. It is not, however, for commercial use, only for personal use. But for things like this, it's perfect. It's really fun to use. So we're going to go ahead and let this write out until it gets to the next pen. And when it gets to our next pen, I will come right back and show you how to change out your pens. Alright, so Cricut has finished with the magenta pen. And so you'll see, and I'll bring you over here. Again, it's going to give you this warning symbol, and hopefully you guys can see this. I know it's tough getting video of a computer screen, but you'll see here that it is asking us to change our pen to Very Berry. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and I'll show you guys how to do that. All you have to do, and it's telling you to hit the go button for when you change your pen. So just make sure you unclamp your pen again, hold it with 2 fingers, and pull your pen. It's going to feel like you're breaking it. I promise you're not. It's just really hard to get out. They want a nice tight clamp on that. So now we're going to train over to our Very Berry, which is this one. Oh, Very Berry, there you go. And you're going to do that same thing you did before. You're just going to click your pen in, hold it with your hand, push it down till it clicks, and hit clamp. You're going to come over here and hit your go button. And it's going to write out our return address in our Very Berry. Now, if for some reason you change your mind on what color you want to write with, you know, for like your second pen or your first pen even, it doesn't matter. The Cricut doesn't know what color pen you're putting into it. So if you put a black pen in, it doesn't know the difference and it's going to write. If you want to change your colors and change your mind as you have written out like this and you realize the Very Berry isn't the color you want, that's perfectly okay. You can do that. Just pick a different pen color. Like I said, the Cricut is not smart enough to know which pen you used. So when we come back, I'll show you our finished envelope. Okay, we're done writing. Super quick. This probably only took about 4 or 5 minutes to write the whole thing, if that. So we'll unload our mat and then carefully peel your envelope off. Be very careful because most envelopes are going to have this flap here. So you want to just carefully peel the flap off as well. Don't just tear it off. And make sure you do use your blue light stick mat, otherwise it will probably rip. But here's our finished envelope to Mr. and Mrs. Smith. You can see it looks really nice and neat and clean, even though we did use a font that technically was a bubble font. The only places I truly see the bubble looks like to be mostly on the S's, a few other little places, but it looks really nice and neat. And we're going to be able to send some really pretty mail. These are really, like I said, these are really great for weddings, thank you notes, everything, Christmas gifts. If you guys have any questions, please let me know below. I love answering your questions. I love helping you guys do your crafts. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos all the time. Hit that bell because when you do, it'll alert you to when I post a new video. And I hope you guys have a really great time and have learned how to address your own envelopes. Have a great day.